So far we have seen the 4 important PDEs like transport equation and other things. Also, we have seen how to solve the characteristic equation for the transport equation, and then we try to solve wave equation, heat equation, Laplace equations, etc. So now we are going to see first order nonlinear PDE, almost the same way what we did for the quasi-linear PDE. We are going to deal a different way over here. Okay, so we are going to do some. I'll just explain Charpit's method and Jacobi's method how to solve linear ODE, linear PDE. So these are all methods. Probably you will be facing some of the problems in the CSAR questions or GATE questions. Okay, so I have given plenty of questions for you as an assignment also for both first order linear PDE with the Charpit's method and the Jacobi's method. So today we'll see like how to solve that. Okay, so I'm just going to give a theory and then probably the later part of the lecture or on Thursday we'll see how to use the Charpit's method. Okay, so if we complete this one, then we'll go for the Charpit's method. I will postpone to next Thursday, coming Thursday. Okay, so far we have seen this one. Important PDEs like a transport equation, okay, and then wave equation, Laplace equation, and heat equation. So now we are going to focus on first order nonlinear PDEs. Let's see how to solve that. So in general, the first order linear PDE is of this form: f of du, u, x equal to 0. Any first order nonlinear PDE, I can just write in this form. Okay, so where x is where x belongs to omega, so I'm just going again sitting in the r power n domain. Okay, but once we come for the Charpit's method, probably we'll stick to r square. Okay, so now I'm just sticking to r power n. Once I explain the Charpit's method and Jacobi's method, probably we'll stick to r square or r cube. So where f is a function from r power n cross r, okay, cross omega bar to r. Okay, so this du is going to become like u is r, okay, because u of x we are taking, that's going to be r. U is a function from r power n to r. Okay, u is a function from r power n to r, and or in fact, like we are not going to take r power n also because our x is dependent on omega only. Therefore, this is not going to be there. This is going to be a subset of that. Okay, omega bar. So omega bar use the function from omega bar to r. Therefore, this is a subset of r power n. Therefore, this is going to be r power n because you have derivative with respect to first derivative, second derivative. So in that case, the first one is element in r power n, second one is element in r because this is function from r power n to r, omega bar to r, and x is again an element in omega. Okay, therefore I'm just putting omega bar. So these are all the things I'm just having for this. Now in this lecture, okay, what we will do is that we will denote this du and other things in a different way. Okay, how we denote is that we are going to denote f of p comma z comma x equal to 0. Okay, where z is nothing but u of x. I'm just going to denote z equal to u of x, and p is nothing but du. Okay, p is going to be du. P is some p1, p2, etc. will come. Okay, du of x. X is a series. For example, if you take the in one-dimensional case, sorry, 2D variable, okay, two-dimensional case. In that case, I can write this as f of, okay. So there are different notations available. So for example, I can put that in this way: x comma y comma u comma a comma b. Okay, so the function will be varying. Instead of r power n, it will be different. So r I can write it as f of. So I just put here p comma q. Okay. So f of p comma q comma u comma x comma y I can put it. Okay, where here equal to 0, or I can write the same thing as f of p comma q comma z comma x comma y, okay, equal to 0. So in all these cases, p is nothing but ux or zx. You can put q is nothing but uy zy. Okay, z is nothing but u. So these are the notations we'll be following. Mostly we'll be using this one sometimes, okay, but according to this one, we are supposed to use this. Okay. So there will be some kind of abuse of notations to be there. If I just stick to this f is a mapping from r power n to r. If I stick to this one, then I should follow this one. Okay, f of p comma q comma z comma x comma y. That's the one I should follow if I'm sticking to the this mapping. Okay. Okay. So for the rest of this lecture, what we are going to assume is that this f is smooth. Okay, this f I'm just going to assume this is smooth function. Okay, this is going to be smooth. Okay. Then we are going to define. Yeah, this one we got something similar to what I have explained. So P. So P and Q I have mentioned. Instead of that, we are mentioning TP of f. Okay, TP of f is nothing but f of p1, f of p2, etc. f of pn is going to be coming. So, for example, here I have two variables. Okay, so in that case, I can just find what is my, because it's a function of p comma q comma z comma x comma y. Therefore, I can find what is my fp. Okay, I can find what is my fq here. Okay, so the same case here in case of the n-dimensional. I can find all these things, fp1, fp2, because corresponding to each variable I will be having fpn, etc. You can find. Okay. So once we come for the short method, we will be sticking to fp and fq. Similarly, d set of f is nothing but, okay. So this is dp of f. So this all these two together I call this tp of f. Okay, because I have all the variables over here. So it's similarly, I can define f is at, okay. F is nothing but I just take the derivative with respect to z variable or the u variable. F P D is that. Then if I mention like dx of f, okay, dx of f is going to come like if I mention dx of f, okay, dx of f, not dz, dx of f is nothing but what I have to have. I should have fx1, fx2. Because it has the n variables. So dx of f is this. Okay. So this is x, not z. Z of x is x. Now, what is our interest is that we need to find and function. For example, I can say like let's say some psi. Okay, I got to find some psi such that this is going to be satisfied. Okay, I got to find some psi such that this is going to be satisfied. That's our aim. So I got to find the solutions u. Okay, I got to find some u. I got to find some q in such a way that this equation is going to be satisfied. That's the one thing I got. Okay, so yeah, it's going to be. So sometimes you may have some boundary conditions. Okay, that also should be satisfied. Then you can find the complete solution or partial solution or particular solution, so etc. Many things are there. So that means. So now we are going to see a definition what is called complete integral. Okay. So what is the complete integral? So once you come for the Charpitch method, probably you will just understand the geometrical interpretation. So now what I mean by complete integral is that first I need to find subset A of R current. Okay, so I just stick to this one. First of this probably is erased. Okay. So I have this f of du comma u comma x is there. Du comma u comma x is there. For this, suppose I have A. Okay, I take a A, the subset of R power n. Okay, it's open. It's open subset of R power n. Now, what we are going to do is that we are going to find, okay, for each of the things I have to find, because n variables are there, n independent variables are there. For this n independent variables, correspondingly, what I have to find is that I have to find n constants or n parameters. I have to find a1, a2, etc. an. Okay, like this I have to find. Okay, So A is subset of R power n. So I'll just find. So since n variables are there, I got to find n parameters which is belonging to A. Okay, in such a way that in such a way that we need to find U such that U is equal to U of x comma A, means I'm just going to corresponding to the x. How many independent variables are there? As many parameters will be found. Okay, or constants will be found. Okay. After PDE, okay, we have U, which is solution of this PDE, okay, the nonlinear first order nonlinear PDE. When do we say? Okay, so first we need to find this one dA of U. Okay, we have some conditions are there. First we have to find dA of U, comma d square xa. Okay, d square xa of U means you just find first the derivative of U. Okay, the derivative of U with respect to the variable A, because you are trying to corresponding to this x. Okay, you are trying to find the parameter over there. Once you come for the chart, etc., you will understand how we are doing. Okay, how to be constructed, etc. So now what I am trying to do is that I have a parameter A. Okay, so your U is a function of independent variable as well as some parameter will be there. For example, if you see the variation of parameters, in that case you might know like in the ODE case, the variation of parameters used to have something like U is going to be A1 y1 of x plus A2 y2 of x will be there. So these two are the two parameters, two constants you will have, and then you will just assume that this is going to be A1 of x into y1 of x plus A2 of x into y2 of x, and then you will find what is the A1 and A2. The same way here. Okay, so you have something like a similar line. So U of x comma A. So here only one variable, but two solutions are there. But this is completely different from what we have here. Okay, here one variable is there, but it's a second order ODE, so you have to constants will come. But this is first order linear PDE. It is completely different. For each parameter, what you have is that you have one parameter will be there. Okay, almost in the same case over there. There also you can do a similar kind of thing. You can get that for first order PDE. One variable, so one constant will come. Okay, here n variables, so n constants will come. So what do you have is you have n parameters. So you take the derivative of U with respect to A. Okay, that I am going to fill it as first column. Okay, first column of this matrix. So this is going to become matrix. Okay, so I am just taking the first column. Okay, first column is going to become like U. Okay, with respect to first A variable. A is having A1, A2, An. So therefore this is going to become like A1, U, A2. So this is a vector. Okay, this is the vector. This is another. This is going to become like a scale matrix. This itself will become a n by n matrix, etc. U, A, N is going to come. So this is I'm just filling only this. Okay, this is correspondingly this one. Okay. Now dx a square U. So in that case you have combinations. Okay, so what you need to do, you have to find x1, a1, x2, a2, etc. Okay, so therefore what I'm going to do, I'm going to have U x1, U x1, a1, U x2, a2, etc. U xn, an. Sorry, a1. Here everything is one. Okay, so I'm just fixing a1 and then varying only x1. Similarly, here I will have U x1 a2, U x2 a2, etc. U xn a2 is going to come, etc. 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 is going to come. So here it is going to become like U x1 a1, U x2 an, etc. U xn an. Okay. Now what I need to find is that this is nothing but how many variables are there? Here I have 1, 2, 3 n rows are there. Okay, and n plus 1 columns are there. Okay, n into n plus 1 by n matrix. Now I need to find rank of this matrix. Okay, what is the rank of this matrix? So depending on this rank of the matrix, I am going to say whether it is whether I am going to get a particular size, complete integral. So when we say a C square function, the capital C square function, okay, a C square function, so means twice differentiable because I need a D square XA U is required. So I have a C square function. The C square function is said to be a complete integral, okay, in U cross A, okay, because it is defined on U in, this is on U, sorry, this is an omega, sorry, not U cross A, this is omega cross A, okay, because I defined an omega, right? So U is a function from omega cross A, okay, U is a function from omega cross A. A is in some sort of argument, so U is a function from omega cross A. Provided, okay, so this is called complete integral if first condition number 1, U of x comma A is a solution of this one, okay, solution of this PD. Okay, U of x comma A is a solution of this PD for all, okay, for all A in G. Second condition number 2, the rank of this matrix, okay, the rank of this matrix will be n. Rank of DAU, comma DXA square U should be n. Okay, and that also for all x in omega and for all a. So in that case, we say this U we call it as complete integral. Okay, so that is the one we are saying. So in precise, what we are trying to say is that we are trying to say that if U is a solution of PDE, and for each independent variable, you should replace, you should get a corresponding arbitrary constant. Okay, means this is going to say me, okay, this rank of A is rank of DAU D of XA square U means this matrix is going to be n, means what does it mean? This should be having at least n independent number of arbitrary constants. Okay, the number of arbitrary constants. So it's going to say the solution of one in which the number of arbitrary constants is equal to the number of independent of elements. That you can see that. Okay. Otherwise, you are going to get some kind of so that we are going to prove. Otherwise, what you are going to do is that you are not going to get the complete integral. Okay, that is the short thing we have. So we'll see that as a proof also. So the condition 1 and 2, this condition 1 and 2 is completely ensuring is that what we are going to get is that we are going to get the solution depends on the n independent parameters. Okay, n independent parameters A1, A2. So for n independent variables, you should have n independent parameters. Okay. So that's what we are going to claim. If it is not that, what we are going to see, we are going to get this matrix is going to become like either the determinant will become 0. Okay, if determinant is 0 means what is the rank of A is going to become, rank of this matrix is going to become like at least 1 less than 2. Okay, that's what we are going to do. Okay, so let's claim the remark. Suppose, okay, so suppose what we are trying to do, suppose instead of n parameters, I found some n minus 1 parameters. Okay, instead of n parameters, suppose I find n minus 1 parameters. That means I'm just going to take some parameters. Okay, let me take p. P is a subset of r power n minus 1. Okay, instead of r power n, I'm going to take p subset of r power n minus 1. Okay, n minus 1 parameters I'm going to take. Okay, so in that case, what I can say is that for each p in B, okay, I take a b for each b in B, which is subset of r power n minus 1. Suppose I found another solution. Okay, another solution B is going to be b of x comma b. So instead of r power n, okay, r power n to r power n cross r power n minus r power n, I am finding r power n. This is mapping from r power n to r power n cross r power n minus 1, because this is a n family. This is the n parameters are there, or n independent variables are there, with n minus 1. So that means this is going to become like omega cross b is going to come. Okay, it's a subset of omega cross b is going to come. So in that case, suppose there is another mapping. Okay, there is a mapping from there is a mapping psi. Okay, there is a mapping psi such that is a mapping from A to B. Suppose that's a mapping from A to, because I have a A here corresponding to this complete integral, and I have a B here. Okay. So suppose I is a mapping from A to B. Then what I can do, I can just that will have the mapping will be having psi is going to have psi is a mapping from A to B. So it is going to have how many tuples will be there? N minus 1 tuples will come. So psi 1, psi 2, etc. Psi n minus 1. Okay, I put it at the top. Psi 1, psi 2, psi n minus 1. So n tuples are there. Sorry, n minus 1 tuples are there. Such that, okay, this is going to satisfy, because it's a solution such that it is going to satisfy this one. So u of x comma a is going to be v of x comma b. Okay, this is going to be satisfied. So b is nothing but, so if I take b here, this is going to be, there's a mapping between a to b. Therefore, if I take any element in b, that will be a corresponding to that. So this one I can just replace it as b of x comma psi of u. This is going to be okay. So now suppose I find, okay, so that is, suppose that is a function u of x comma a that depends on n minus 1 parameter. So here I am saying there is n parameters here, but what I found is that I found only n minus 1 things are there. Therefore, what I am trying to say is that u has only n minus 1 independent parameters. Okay, it depends on u of x comma a, depends on only n minus 1 parameters, p1, p2, pn minus 1. So now what we are trying to say, then in that case, what we will consider, we are trying to find what is this matrix. Okay, this matrix, whether it is going to become like rank of matrix is going to become like n or less than n, that we are trying to. So now if I find what is my uxi comma aj, okay, suppose I find what is my uxi comma aj, so that is going to become like, because once again this I is a function of psi a, okay, this b is a function of psi a. What I can do is that I can just find that di xij. Again, you can use the chain rule. Okay, once you use the chain rule, what you are going to get, you are going to get the following. You are going to get, so I just find what is my u of xi comma u of xi aj. So that is going to become like summation. There are only n minus 1 parameters are there. Okay, therefore I am going to get k equal to 1 to n minus 1. Okay, I got to differentiate with respect to each other things. So what I am going to get, I am going to get v xi v xi, okay, v xi, and b k, okay, I got to differentiate with respect to that. So b k into, I have to bk is, but bk is a function of vxi bk, okay, bk is the denominator, not here, bk, okay. I got to differentiate xi, no problem. Aj is a function of psi a, therefore vxi into bk of x comma, okay, b is nothing but psi of a, okay, psi of a into, I have to differentiate the psi a also, okay, because chain rule. If I differentiate with respect to aj, what I am going to get, I am going to get psi aj, okay, psi aj, and differentiating with respect to j, therefore psi aj for each of the tuples, okay, because my psi is nothing but, psi is having psi 1, psi 1, psi 2, etc. psi n minus 1. Therefore, you will get this one. For example, you can take the 2-dimensional case, okay, just take psi 1, psi 2, and so this is going to be there. Now, what we are going to have in this case, suppose I find the determinant. Okay, suppose I find the determinant of this matrix, determinant of dau dxa square u. In this case, what it is going to come, you are going to get, okay, the summation, okay, the summation is going to become like the summation. If you are just taking that, what you are going to get, you are going to get the psi 1, psi 2 summation. For each of these, we are going to get k1, k2, etc. kn equal to 1 to n. For each of things, I am going to take, okay, k1, k2, kn is because I have n rows are there. Okay, So that is going to become like you are going to get psi a1 k1. Okay, this is going to become like if I take everything out, what you are going to get? You are going to get u1 etc. Right? It's going to become like psi. I just take this out. Okay, vxi, dxi, pk etc. I'm going to take it out. So in that case, what you are going to get? Psi a1 k1, psi a2 k2, psi an k1 etc. is going. Okay. So now it's very simple trick which you are following. See, k1, k2, kn equal to 1. Okay, k1, k2, kn equal to 1. So that means you have k1, k2, kn equal to, sorry, kn minus 1, not n, kn minus 1. Okay, n minus 1. For each of k1, k2, kn belongs to 1 to n minus 1 because I have only n minus 1 choices are there. So k1, k2, kn are there, but n minus 1 choices are only there. So in that case, in the matrix, what will happen? At least one of them should repeat, right? At least one of the variables should repeat. Either k1 or something should repeat. So in that case, what will happen? In that case, at least two columns will coincide. Okay, at least two columns will coincide. In that, at least two columns in the corresponding matrix will be equal. Okay, at least two columns will be equal because you are choosing k1, k2, kn, etc. Same thing. So what you are going to get is that you are going to get at least two columns in the same thing. Okay, determinant of this one. So therefore, what you are going to get, if that is the case, what you are going to get is that this is going to become like 0. Okay, the reason for this becomes 0 is that at least two columns in the corresponding matrix becomes equal. That's the reason it becomes 0. So a similar argument, what you can do is that you can just show that for this one also. Okay, so similar argument, you have to take your b1, b2, bn family you have to take. So in that case, at least your one of the b1, b2, bn is going to become like similar thing. So the same argument you can repeat that. In that case, what it will become? This determinant is going to become like 0. So this determinant is 0. What you can claim? You can claim that rank of the matrix is strictly less than n because already you know rank of the matrix is less than or equal to dimension of n, dimension of the row and dimension of column, right? Less than or equal to. So already dimension of column space is n plus 1. So dimension of row space is at least n. Okay. So at most n. Okay, not at least, at most n. So in that case, what you are going to get? You are going to get strictly less than or equal to n is going to come. Okay, but it is claimed that this is equal to 0. Okay, the rank of this matrix. Sorry, we just claim that this part alone. Okay, only this part alone. I just claim that removing this part, only this part I have proved that the determinant is 0. That means what? This is going to become like the rank is going to become like less than. Okay, the rank of this matrix is going to be strictly less than n. So that is the one. Then what we claim? This is not going to be the solution. This is not going to be the solution because it's a complete integral. Okay, it's a complete integral. It should be equal to n, but I don't have equal to n. Therefore, it's not going to be the case. Okay. Therefore, what we are claiming is for each independent variable, there should be for each n independent variable, there should be exactly n independent parameters. That's what we are doing. Okay, once you come for the Sharp-Pitch method, then we'll see like how it comes, etc. Similarly, this clarification once again will prove that the Sharp-Pitch method also how we get. So this is an example. How do we get that? Okay, how to get this one? That is a question. We will just come back. But let's see like what is the complete integral first. Okay. So now I have a Clairaut's equation, which is one of the important equation in the differential geometry. Okay, that. So in differential geometry, you have this PE, which is called Clairaut's equation. You have x dot du, okay, x dot du plus f of du equal to 0. Okay. So I take u is equal to, okay, I got to find u is equal to u. I'm just taking u of actually I got to find the corresponding parameter for it. So take u of x semicolon a, okay, which is nothing but the complete integral. So the complete integral is going to be a dot x plus f of e. A dot x plus f of e. Okay. So this is called the complete integral of that. So first question, whether it satisfies the given PD. So let's say this is one. First question, whether this satisfies equation number 1. Okay, that we will verify. So what is going to be du? What is going to be du? P is going to be A. Because A dot x, so with respect to x I am taking, so A is going to be. Okay, therefore, now what we need to do, we have to substitute this and then we have to find the release. Okay, so therefore, wherever I have x here, I can wherever I have A here, that I can replace with the du. So this is going to become like x dot, okay, du, x dot du, because I'm just replacing A with du, plus f of d. Okay, so that is satisfying. Okay, wherever I have A, I'm just replacing with this one. Therefore, this is going to satisfy this one. Okay, if I just substitute. So that means first one is satisfied. Okay, u is equal to x dot du plus f of du satisfied. Now the rank of thing is satisfied already because you have n parameter things. Okay, n independent variables are there. Here A is also belong to R power n. Therefore, corresponding to each independent variable, you got independent parameters. That's it. Now second example, this is Eikonal equation. Okay, in the Eikonal equation, this is coming in geometric optics. Okay, Eikonal equation is this one. Du is equal to 1. Means square root of ux1 square x dx2 square etc. Okay, then its complete integral is given in this way: u of x comma x equal to a equal to what we are going to take? We are going to take a dot x plus. Okay, how do we get this one? We'll come to that. Okay, once we solve the calculation method, etc. We have same thing we can generalize or Jacobi's method we can generalize. So a dot x plus b. Now we need to check whether it is going to satisfy R. Okay, what is the x belongs to? X belongs to omega. Okay. Now I got to find where the a belongs to and where the b belongs to. Okay. So a dot x, therefore this is scalar. Okay, b is scalar. So b belongs to R. Okay. So a dot x is there. So of course it belongs to R power n, but we need its conditions to be satisfied. Therefore, this is question number, whether that is going to satisfy or not. That is question number. Let's see. So what is going to be du? What is du first? What is du here? So b is constant, so that becomes 0. A is constant, so with respect to x only you are going to take. So here. So now if du is equal to 1, okay, this should be satisfied. Then where the a belongs to, a should be equal to 1. That means a equal to 1 means a subset of a is in R power n, but a should be equal to 1. So in that case, a should be
on the
in a sphere
circles
of
sphere.
radius. Yeah, sphere of radius 1. Okay, with center 0. So a belongs to totally of 0. So this is going to be, I'm just going to replace this with a belongs to totally of 0. Now suppose I am just solving this problem. Du equal to R. Then where a belongs to? A belongs to tau b of 0, R will come. So instead of that, if I just replace less than or equal to R, where it will belong?
Inside, sir. Inside on the boundary both.
Inside the boundary. Okay, inside and boundary. T of 0, R union tau b of 0, R. I can put path. Okay. Next one we have okay, one more is there. So another is called Hamilton-Jacobi equation. Okay, this comes from the mechanics. Probably we will take a separate problem for this one. Time permits. So Hamilton-Jacobi equation. So the star equation. So in this equation, what we have is this is called Hamilton-Jacobi equation. ut plus t into Kirchhoff du. Okay, Kirchhoff du equal to 0. Okay, this is called Hamilton-Jacobi equation. Once again, same kind of things. Okay, so here also we have a similar kind of things. Okay, a dot x plus b. Here we have a similar kind of things we have to do. So here I'm just going to take 2 parameters only. Okay, so I think that's a mistake here. Plus b will come. Okay, plus b will come. A dot x plus b into t of h comma a will come. Okay, so ut, because you have n plus 1 parameters are here. One is U is belong to X is belong to R power n and T is in R, therefore n plus 1 parameters are there. Therefore this A is corresponding to this X, okay, A corresponds to X and this B corresponds to T. Okay, therefore ut is going to become like U is going to become like A dot X plus B plus T into h of A is going to come. Okay, so once again you do the same thing. Okay, if you just take the differentiation with respect to X, B is going to become like A. Okay, B is going to cancel. Okay, this is 0, this is 0 because I'm just taking this to X only. So D is going to become A. So I can just substitute it over here. So in that case, this is going to become like h of A. Then if you take T with respect to T, we are going to get this one. Okay, this is going to become 0, this is going to become 0. We are going to get this one, and then again we go substitute. Okay, that's the one. Okay. Therefore, what I can okay. So this is the complete integral. Now next week, what we are going to see is that we are going to see the particular integral. In particular integral, what we have is, see the complete integral. We have A is arbitrary constant. Okay, wherever I have given here, this A is some arbitrary constant in R power n. Okay, R in some A. Okay, A belongs to A, or A belongs to R power n. A subset of R power n. So now, suppose I choose particular A. Okay, instead of arbitrary constant, suppose I choose a particular A values, A1, A2, An. Suppose I choose particular values for that. Then in that case, that is called particular integral or particular solution of that child. Okay, no complication, not much complicated. Okay, complete integral and complete integral, we just stick to some values, then it is going to be very complete. Particular integral. Now from this one, what we are trying to find is that we are trying to find one more thing called we have geometrical interpretation for complete integral. Okay, I don't know. Okay, probably you will come with that. I will just explain it to in the sharpish method. Okay. Okay, it is there. The geometric interpretation of the complete integral. Okay, for example, if you stick to the two-dimensional 2D case, okay, 2D case, take x comma y comma u. Okay, only three. Or x comma y comma z, where z and u are same. Okay, so wherever I say this. Therefore, what is this? This is going to be a, if I say x comma y comma z, this is going to be a surface. Okay, this is going to be a surface. This surface in this is a surface equation of surface. Okay, relation between x, y, and u is the equation of the surface. But it contains, since it contains two arbitrary parameters. Okay, because x comma y comma u is there. So if I have n independent variables, how many parameters should come? Two independent parameters should come. So in that case, if I just say like my equation is something like f of x comma y comma z comma p comma q. Okay, in that case I will have a parameter, I will have a equation like this: x comma y comma z comma a comma b will come, or pi or psi equal to 0 will come. So in this case, for corresponding to b comma u, I have a comma b is there. So corresponding to each of the parameters, each of the independent variable, I have a corresponding parameters. So therefore, these are two arbitrary parameters. Okay, then in this case, what it is going to come? This surface, okay, this surface is going to generate a double infinite system. Double infinite system surface. Okay, it is going to generate many such things that are going to come. For example, this is something similar to what we have in the ODE case. If we have ODE case, it's a kind of inverse problem. Therefore, you are going to have infinite number of solutions with it. For example, we take dy by dx equal to let's say y. Then what you are going to get? You are going to get y equal to some c into e power x is going to come. Okay. Therefore, what you are going to get here, c e power x means you are going to get infinite number of curves are going to come, because your c is going to be there. So you are going to get infinite number of curves are going to come. Okay, some curves depending on c, you are going to get negative, positive, etc. So you are going to get infinite number of curves are going to. It's going to be a family of curves are going to come in this case, because you have one variable. Okay, so therefore we are going to get a family of surfaces going to come. Family of curves are going to come. Here what you have two parameters. Therefore you are going to get a double infinite system. Okay, if I have only one variable, then I am going to have infinite family of surfaces corresponding to each of the a variable. But I have two variables here, a and b are there. Therefore, double infinite system of surfaces are going to, because I can just fix A and then I can vary E, B. I can fix B and then I can vary E. Therefore, it is going to become like a double infinite system of curve. Or sometimes, if I just say like B is equal to psi of, suppose I have something like B is equal to psi of in some cases. In that case, what it is going to come? It is going to become like a single infinite system of surfaces. Okay, so these are the geometric interpretation. So in the ODE case, we have a family of curves. Here you are going to get a family of surfaces. Since there are two parameters, you are going to get double infinite system of surfaces. Suppose in the general case, how many infinite system of surfaces is going to come? How many? If it is n independent variables, how many parameters will come?
N
parameter. Therefore, it is going to be n infinite system of family of surfaces. The n infinite system of surfaces. Okay. Next one is called envelopes. How we find the envelopes? Okay. So now what we are trying to find is that we are trying to find a singular integral. Singular integral means, suppose the matrix whatever I have given, suppose I found some other way to find an arbitrary function of n minus 1 variable, not just n parameter, not just an n parameters. Then in that case, we are trying to say this is going to become like a envelope or singular integral. So now let us look how to build a build more complicated solution of one, okay, this equation, more complicated solution of this first order ODE with n minus 1 arbitrary functions, okay, with n, which depends on arbitrary function of n minus 1 variable, but not just on n parameters. Okay, we are trying to find some catch of A. That catch of A is going to depend on, or catch of A dash, you can say that A dash is going to become like a function of n minus 1 variables. Okay, so we construct these new solutions. So these new solutions are called envelopes of complete integral. We have complete integrals. In that case, n parameters or n independent variables, n parameters will come. Whereas in the envelopes, okay, what we are trying to do is that we are trying to find at least n minus 1 variable. Okay, at least one variable if it is less, then what we are going to say, this is going to be a singular integral or envelope of. Okay. Or you can just take like m parameter also, where m is strictly less than 1. Okay, so more generally you can take that m parameters, means m is strictly less than 1. So in that case also, your second condition will be right. The rank of is going to become like less than, so you will get some singular integral. So that's what we are trying to do. So the envelope we define in the next we are going to define what is the definition of envelope. Okay, so the envelope we defined in the following definition. The next definition is also called as sometimes singular integral. So singular integral. So what we are going to do here is that we are going to find the solution. Okay, the solution obtained by eliminating the arbitrary constants a between. So you have two things you are going to take. So you have FDU of u comma x is there. So from that, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to find some, let's say, like suppose I have found a family. I have considered this concept. Okay, so yeah, d u comma x is there of psi of du comma. Okay, instead of du, so for example, I just take two-dimensional case. I have psi of x comma y comma z comma p comma q is there. Okay, equal to 0 is there. So f of x comma y comma z comma p comma q. So correspondingly, I have this equation. So in this case, I can find what is my x comma y comma z comma a comma b equal to 0. Okay, I can find this a comma z comma a comma. Now what I am trying to do here is that I have one equation psi of y comma x comma z comma a comma b. Now what I am trying to find, I am just trying to find psi a of, okay, psi a comma b of psi a of x comma y comma z comma a comma b equal to 0. Similarly, psi b of I can find if I just find the solution between these two. Okay, if I just eliminate some constant. Okay, I just eliminate the constant one constant, let's say a constant or some constant is eliminating. So in that case, what it is going to come? If I eliminate the constant, therefore I'm just going to get one is dependent on the other. I can get. So from that one, what I'm going to find, I'm going to find the similar integral. Okay, that is the idea, the general idea. So let's see that. How do we define that? Suppose the envelope u is nothing but u of x comma a is u is nothing but u of x comma a is given. That is the solution which we obtained from the complete integral. Okay, u is equal to u of x comma a, a C1 function of x belongs to omega and a belongs to a, where omega and a are subset of orthogonal open sets. Now we are considering this equation. Okay, so you have one thing is u is equal to u of x comma a is there. Okay, then you have dA of u of x comma a equal to 0. Consider this equation. Okay, suppose you can solve this. Okay, suppose we can solve one of the parameter. Okay, suppose you solve this one. Okay, as the parameter. How do we and use this one? This information, these two information. You want to solve. And then what we are trying to do is that you find this one, a is equal to some pi of x. Okay, so in general we will find that b is equal to some psi of e in the case of the two-dimensional. Okay, b is equal to psi of e. So a is equal to pi of x is found. Okay, then what you can say is that suppose a is pi of x is found, then we can just replace this dA u of x comma pi of x equal to 0. Okay, CA of D of u comma pi of x, pi x. So in that case, what you can find is that you can find some v. Okay, I can just find some v of x such that which is defined as u of x comma. I'm just replacing a pi of x. Okay, that is becoming v. Okay, so such functions I found, then this v of x, okay, the whatever I found v of x, that is called the envelope of, this is called the envelope of the families of the function, the envelope of the function, okay, the family of function, the envelope of the function u semicolon a belongs to. Okay. So what is the geometrical interpretation of that? You see, so this is called the envelope of functions, family of functions. Once again, we'll see like once we go for the chapters with the things, we'll see like how we do. So let me explain the geometrical interpretation first. Then we'll come to that this theorem. This is very simple, so I'll just come to this. So geometric interpretation of this envelope is that for x belongs to omega, okay, for geometric interpretation, just take the x belongs to omega. Then the graph of whatever I get, the graph of b, the graph of b is tangent to the graph u of a. Okay, the graph of the tangent to the graph u of a for a equal to pi of x. Okay, therefore what you are going to get, you are going to get dv of x. If I just find dv of x, that is going to be like dx of u of x comma pi of x. That is going to come. Okay, so dv of x. So this is going to form this v of x. Okay, this v of x is going to be the tangent. This is going to be the tangent. Okay, tangent to the v is tangent to the graph. Okay, this is going to be a graph. This is going to be a graph u dot semicolon a. So that is going to be the graph. For that graph, v is going to be the tangent. Where it is going to be tangent? The tangent at this point, a is equal to pi of x. Okay, tangent for a equal to pi of x. So that means if I take the dv is nothing but dv is going to be exactly same as dx of u of a is going to come. Okay. So again the geometric interpretation. What we are trying to do here is that we have a solution u equal to u of x comma a. We are trying to eliminate a constant. We are trying to eliminate some constant. Okay, the operation of elimination. So which is nothing but which is equivalent to selection of the representative family. Okay, we are trying to select a representative family from the system of family. So this is a system of family I have. So for that I am just trying to select a representative family. Okay. and that is going to give me that is nothing but finding its envelope. Okay, the operation of elimination. We are trying to eliminate some constant because I'm just trying to find a equal to pi of x. Okay, so I'm just trying to write a as some function of x. Okay, so that is called the operation of elimination. So for example, you can find the two-dimensional case. In two-dimensional case, what we have is that in two-dimensional case, this equation is going to represent a curve drawn on a surface of the family. Okay, so this envelope is going to become like, because we have u of x comma a, u of x comma a is going to be a for example, in this case, it is going to become like u of two-dimensional case, it is going to become like u of x comma y, a comma b is going to come. Okay, so you have a family of curve, family of surface is there. Okay, represent a surface of family. Okay, surface of the family is there. So what we are trying to do is that we are trying to eliminate one. So in that case, this is going to become like a curve. This is going to form a curve. Instead of a surface, it is going to form a curve. The curve is going to represent the curve is going to represent from this envelope. Okay, the envelope is going to represent that. So what we are trying to do, we are eliminating this constant. For example, the fourth line I have given. So f of a b comma, so same kind, f of a b comma, f of a comma b comma z comma x comma y is there, equal to 0 is there. What we are trying to do, we are trying to find b is equal to pi of a. Okay, so as I mentioned, b is equal to pi of a. So I am trying to find b is equal to pi of b is equal to pi of a. If I find, then I can substitute over here, and then also I can find fa of a comma b comma z comma x comma y. This also you can find. So now we just solve these equations, solve these equations, and then we are going to obtain a envelope. Okay, this envelope is going to touch the surface represented by this f of a comma b comma z comma x. Okay, so this one is a PDE, non-linear PDE, whereas this is not a non-linear PDE. This is going to be a surface or a solution in surface in the five-dimensional space. Okay. So this envelope is called the characteristic of this curve is called the characteristic. This p is equal to this is called a characteristic of it. So once you go for the Chapit's method and Jacobi's method, we will understand what we are trying to do. This is the general idea for n-dimensional space. Once we go for the two-dimensional case, at least you will get some picture like what we are trying to do. Okay, so we will see that. Okay, so one theorem. So with that, I will just conclude this lecture. We will see Thursday how to do the soft fish method, etc. So what we have is, suppose for each a in a, okay. So for this, for example, as in this envelope case, u equal to u dot semicolon a is also 1. Okay, and also assume further that the envelope be defined by the equation number 10 and 9. Okay, 10 and 9 exist. Okay, the envelope for which we need these two conditions are required. Okay, of course, three conditions d 8, 9, 10 is also required. So that is satisfied. Okay, if it are such a v defined by 10 and 9 exists. Okay, and that is also a C1 function. Then what we are saying is that the v solves one as it will solve the original nonlinear. So this proof is very simple now. From 10 we have, okay, 10th equation is having v of x equal to u of x comma pi of x. So from this one I can find what is my vxi. So vxi of x is going to become like, I have to take the derivative uxi of, okay, uxi of x comma pi of x. Okay, that is with respect to the first variable I am taking derivative for with respect to x. Then second one is function of x. Okay, pi of x is there. Therefore, what you need to do, that is nothing but a is there. A is a function of pi of x. Therefore, you take the derivative with respect to aj, which is nothing but uaj into x comma pi of x, okay, x semicolon pi of x into pi xi j of x, means it is the variable. But the second term vanishes. Okay, the second term vanishes due to equation number 9, because it is given that du of x comma pi of x equal to 0. So the second one is same as that one. dA of u of x comma pi of x is there. Therefore, this is going to become like 0. Each of the term is becoming 0. Therefore, it is given. Okay. Therefore, what we are going to get? We are going to get f of dv of x comma v of x comma by x. Okay, wherever I have the u, I'm just replacing with the v. Okay, d of v of x, dv of x, v of x into x. I can just replace the v of x. That is going to be the g. That's all. Okay, that's a simple proof. Okay, so with this I just stop that.